officially KTV. It's your girl K, giving you nothing but the hottest receipts and tea on me. So this is my little talk time, you guys. It's late, and as you can see, my little pumpkin in the background sleeping. But I just wanted to come up here and talk about a plethora of things. I want to start with mental health and mental awareness. Check on your friends, check on your family, check on anybody who you know could be possibly struggling with depression and is going through stuff, because around this time, this is a time where everybody might be playing tricks on them, even myself. I'm a person who suffers from depression, where I display happy and underneath happy, I'm still sad. So I know what that's like. I feel like if you're not doing anything to stimulate your mind, or if you're sitting still, I'm a person that can't sit still for too long. If I sit still in the same place, or I'm not doing something proactive, I get pretty discouraged and pretty low and down. Even for people who have gotten laid off from jobs, or people whose jobs are like high tolerance of stress and gives mad anxiety, this video is for you. So there's a couple of things that I had purchased that I think you guys should purchase. So the first thing that I purchased, you guys, was a burn book. Now I got this burn book for 20% off at Target. This book asks all types of questions, so I'm just gonna read a couple of them so you can kind of see what it's about. So the burn book actually says in the very beginning, as adults, we learn to focus on representing ourselves in a manner pleasing others. It's time to leave that behind you for a minute. Take some time out, grab a coffee, and indulge yourself with Burn After Writing by Lamplight. What is Burn After Writing? It is your Black Dozier, hidden in the secret compartment of your world, for your eyes only, the place where you speak your own truth freely, beyond any concern for how it might be viewed by others. The only space in your life where you can take off all of your masks. It is an extended feature-length interview with you, a radical thought experiment with you as a subject and you as the result. Now, I love this book, and the truth, as it states, which is my favorite part of the beginning of the book, it tells you you can't hide from the truth, but it sure as hell can hide from you. They say the artist is one who uses lies to tell the truth. One thing's for sure, it's impossible to tell the whole truth, especially when you're writing about yourself. Sometimes the lie is in the omission. Now, this book is very, very, very touching. I had got to like a couple of pages where some of the questions I just couldn't answer, so I put like question marks near things. It asks about your earliest memories, your childhood, people in history that you admire. I think one of the toughest questions was, what makes you happy? Now, I noticed that, like they say, you have like repetitive things that you will write, and I noticed that every time they ask me what's my happy, I always say this little guy behind me, which that is my happy. But besides your kid being your happy, like what genuinely makes me happy, I always use my son and my boyfriend as my happy, which they are my happy, but that's not what the book is clearly asking. It's asking you, besides other crutches, what makes you happy. The second thing I want to talk about is the struggle of being alone when you're a person who's been in relationships your whole life. Now, mind you, since I was 16, I think I've been in a relationship since I was 16, my whole life. So from 16 to 28, I've been in something my whole life. Now, when I had to learn to be by myself after my son's father or whatever, the struggle of being alone, it was different. Now, I felt like, I needed love, or I needed to gravitate to somebody, and I felt like I was using that as a crutch, having somebody around me, right? And then I started to realize that the people that I kept going back to, like his dad and stuff like that, was unhealthy boundaries. They had unhealthy boundaries. It was just borderline crazy, toxic, emotionally toxic. It was very draining. So I had to learn how to decipher myself, like decipher what I like about myself, what I want to do with myself, who I want to be. And I did that for a year until I ran into somebody like my boyfriend now, who like showed me like it's okay to be yourself, like took their time with you and stuff like that. So I said it to say this: if you're struggling with being alone, yo, take that time to cut off everything around you. It doesn't have to be like you've been in a relationship your whole life. You could just be around toxic nature your whole life, and you're very accepting and kind, and you just keep indulging in toxic behavior from people who are weighing down on you. Now, you just have to like literally find some type of something to stimulate yourself. And I also feel like if you don't know you well enough, you're not going to be happy with somebody else. And the only way you can be happy with somebody else is if you're happy with yourself. Now, don't get me wrong, I have my moments where I am not pleased with myself at times, but I'm blessed to have somebody who loves me through that. When I say loves me through that, like supports me, uplifts me. Like he does, my boyfriend does a lot of things that most men never catered to, like for my mental state. So I'm blessed for that. But I feel like if you don't learn yourself and you don't take time to be by yourself, when you get into something with somebody else, it's gonna be tragic, especially if they're not in a mental capacity to accept you for you. So I said to say this: be with somebody who makes you feel like you, that brings out the better version of you, and is down for supporting you in every way, mentally, not physically, mentally. The next thing I wanted to talk about, transactions. Now, I feel like this in every relationship, there's transactions, okay? Whether it's sexual encounter or a ride or a date or anything like that. I feel like everything nowadays is a transaction. Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't really look at it like that, but everything is basically a transaction. And I feel like you have to choose wisely on your transactions, because the things that you choose or set in line for yourself can go downhill if there's not an executed plan behind your transaction. Like, you have to have genuine intentions, okay? Also, like, selective behavior. Like, if you're dealing with people whose behavior is toxic or just overall just gives snake vibes, like, and you find yourself in a tough pickle where you're the good person and you're an empath, or like if you're an empath and you take on the risk of others, you get what I'm saying, that could be something that'll weigh you down as well. And I feel like as good people, because I do that, like I take on other people's BS and I try to love them past that, and they just keep snaking me. So I'm learning that, like, you just gotta notice that selective behavior is, like, you know what I'm saying, certain people with bad behavior or unhealthy boundaries that just keep doing you the same way, you gotta cut them off. And also, I wanted to talk about friendships. Now, hold up. Us as women don't have long-term friendships like men. Most men that I have been around or that I know have sandbox friends. And when I say sandbox friends, I say sandbox friends, I mean friends that they grew up with when they were young kids. Like, I know people who still have friends that they met from elementary school. You get what I'm saying? Mind you, like, us as women, we don't create boundaries like that. With women, like, we have friendships and some of them go straight and some of them go sour. Now, in my case, I thought I had a friendship of a long time, and like, friendships be like relationships. Don't get me wrong, still love this person to this day, but like, I feel like when you get older, sometimes as women, we outgrow each other pretty fast. Or like, not speaking for me, but speaking for anybody else, like, I've seen that, like, most times it's hard for women to create like long-term friendships because it's always something behind it. Like, some people's motives don't be like other people's motives. Jealousy is always a big factor. And us as women, like, we be petty. We nitpick at things and we fall out for the dumbest of things. It's almost like being in a long-term toxic relationship where you break up 1 minute and then you're back together the next minute. And I feel like that's a thing that us as women do. And I feel like, you know, the only way we'll have good, substantial friendships and good standing friendships if we start standing on our word and love women like we want to be loved. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, hype each other up, support each other in ways, show out, be there. And a lot of the times with the women friendships, the biggest thing is the loyalty and the support. You get what I'm saying? And the love, like, do for me as I do for you, be there for me as I be for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? It'd be a tough thing, and men do be having long-term friendships. They don't gossip, they don't hate on each other, and if they do hate on each other, they don't speak about it. You get what I'm saying? I feel like us as women, like, it's just a thing, and it's a big thing now in 2023. Like, you rarely see women hanging together for real. Like, I love being around pretty females. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind being around a group of pretty females, people with that are moms, people that have kids. I would do play dates and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? You would love to be around people who have that same mindset. You gotta understand too that, like, you have to be cool with somebody who is the same way as you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Has the same guidelines. I'm not gonna say the same as me, but I'm saying, like, it stands on the same things that I stand on: loyalty, trust, honesty, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be there for each other. But nowadays in this generation and in our time, like, everybody don't come with genuine intent. What was the next thing I wanted to talk about? I also wanted to talk about the sugar daddy thing, okay? Because people, like, take that. I don't think nobody really truly knows the context of what a sugar daddy is, or the context of what tricking is. You get what I'm saying? And to me, I feel like sugar daddy and tricking is the same thing, but it's just been a thing that I've seen going around. Like, people were like dropping comments like, what is a sugar daddy? You get what I'm saying? And some people feel like it's when a younger woman is with an older man. To me, that's what it sounds like. A sugar daddy would be an older man with a younger woman. You get what I'm saying? I'm not talking about somebody who is 4 years older than you. He has like 10 years, 13 years older than you to be classified as a sugar daddy. You get what I'm saying? And then how I would classify tricking would be like you spending money, you know what I'm saying, on a person. If it's like beneficial transactions, that's tricking. That's my take on that. And it's just like a long thing going around about what that is. If your definition is definitely different from mine, interact with me, comment below. If you like agree on things that I said as far as friendships and depression and mental health and stuff like that, like, make sure you comment below, because I would like to hear you guys' feedback on where you stand mentally, or like, how do you feel as a person. And I also feel like as women, I know I do this a lot. If my hair and my nails and my feet aren't done and stuff like that, my outfit's not gonna look perfect, and I will have a terrible day, like beyond terrible day. And I think that's a female thing. You know what I'm saying? Because when your hair done and your face beat and your shoes is on point, like, you feel like that girl. Anything I could throw on anything. When my hair done, my nails are done, and my face is beat, because I do my own face. When I do all of that and those steps, like, I could throw about anything. I could throw on just about anything, and my outfit is like together. Now, if those things aren't done, or if it's one thing not done and the other thing not done, I get anxiety. Like, okay, this is not done, so this outfit ain't gonna look right. This is not how I want to be. That's just not gonna fit for me. Oh, my nails look, I'm not really feeling that. I'm very, very picky, and like, I would just really, really, really be like all over the place, and my day would just go to shambles. I don't like that. And in comparison to what I wanted to say about why I'm stating these things, because men do not have it like in that way. Like, they just get $25 haircuts or $45 haircuts. Or in my boyfriend's case, probably like $50. And They do that, throw on a t-shirt, some jeans, and go about their day. Us as women, precision with our outfit, our clothes, our shoes have to be everything. Everything. The next thing I wanted to talk about is how us as women should be treated. It's sad to say that there's a lot of women that I see basically social media are being abused, being mistreated, and social media is in an era where everybody uses their personal business as an outlet, like the negative things. I'm not talking about the positive things, but they use their outlet for the negative things, like people out here killing their baby mamas on live and killing their girlfriends on live and stuff like that. That stuff kind of is very disturbing to me, because it's just like, us as women, we go through a lot of things, and it's really tough being a female, and most people don't understand that. It's really, really tough, because some people don't know how to let go of like what they had or what they once had or what once was and stuff like that. But I just wanted to talk about that. Like, I think that's a real big thing in our community, in our generation, that we really need to treat women like they're flowers, because we are definitely fragile. And I think, like, as a man, we have to take better care of women. Like, if you're a man, you take better care of a woman. You know what I'm saying? I feel like treat them delicately, like they're flowers. And I can't even say like vice versa. They're good men. There's good men out here. I will say that there's good men out here, and you have to treat them the same way, because men are going against a lot of things, police brutality, and like they have a hard time, let alone going out with tattoos on them. You know what I'm saying? They're judged, prejudged all the time for just being men. And I feel like we have to uplift our men too, because they go through just as worse mentally as we do. You get what I'm saying? So I wanted that to throw that out there, because I didn't want this video to seem like, okay, I don't care about women. I care about men too, because there are good men out there in the world who still do their job as a man. You get what I'm saying? And there can be misunderstood at times. So I just felt like I wanted to make sure I spoke on that as well. But this was just a little talk time and stuff like that, you know, based on everything that I be seeing and stuff that I just want to talk about myself. What else did I want to talk about? Also, us as women or young men, where do we want to be in life? Where do we see ourselves in life? I feel like right now, as of 2023, there's a lot of younger people like successfully taking off more than the older people. Like, when you have a creative background, or you come from a creative background, or like you just have a high tolerance for ambition, and you have like a high drive for making something out of yourself, you definitely be winning. And it's crazy, because I wrote down in my journal where I see myself in life. I see myself being very successful. I see myself being a millionaire before 40. I see myself, you know, making sure my son has everything that he needs, making sure my son doesn't have to worry about anything or have a care in the world for anything. You get what I'm saying? So I said it to say this, like, everybody that has creative background comes from a creative background. And if you have talent, like, use it, because I feel like a lot of times, like, even me, sometimes I start things and I don't finish them, when I really should stick to my guns, because seriously, you never know where that will lead you. And I say this to anybody who has a thought or a creative hobby or anything they want to do with themselves, man. I feel like now is the time to do it. Don't sit back and think about what if, or like how I do. Like, sometimes I see like stuff on TV. You see actresses, you see YouTubers, you see all types of stuff, and you could be at home, you like, dang, I could do that. That could be me. Stop saying it could be you. Make it you. You get what I'm saying? Like, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. And consistency is a big thing. I think the word of this YouTube video, comment below, is consistency. Comment consistency if you believe in being consistent. Consistency is a big thing throughout life. I feel like everything that you do in life, you have to be consistent for. And I also feel like whether it's your job, be consistent. Whether it's spending time with your kid, be consistent. Whether it's making time for your family, be consistent. Like anything that you're doing in life, make sure you carry that word consistency behind it, because you're gonna need that to carry yourself through, and to also like hold yourself accountable for things. You get what I'm saying? The next thing I wanted to talk about is parenting. Because I'm a new mom and stuff like that. I wonder if you guys, like, well, let's say single mothers, I wonder, like, how do you guys feel raising sons? You get what I'm saying? Because I'm raising a young man and I'm a woman. And I don't know one thing about being a man or anything like that, but I do know, like, my son will have respect for a woman. My son will love a woman someday, and my son will flourish and be the best man he can be. You get what I'm saying? I want to speak on parenting because I feel like as young moms, people will just be expecting us to have it all down pat and know what to do and how to do it or whatever. I feel like you learn as you go. And I'm going to tell you, thus far, my son's 5 years old. I can't get nothing wrong with him. Like, when you grew up together, that's the best thing. Like, I feel like when me and my son are growing up together, and as a new mom, I was terrified. I was like, I don't know the first thing about being a mom. And it's just like, after you become a parent, it kick in, your instincts kick in, you know what to do now. Try by error, you can learn a couple things, and you can go through a couple things. So this part of what I'm saying is for new moms. Like, don't give up. It might be tough in the very beginning because you don't know what to do. You might go through postpartum. You may go through a plethora of things. You might not end up with the guy that you had a baby with. Stuff like that. I want us single mothers to understand that we do the best that we can do. You're going to be the best that you can be. You get what I'm saying? And you're going to know what to do and when to do it and how to do it. It'll kick in. It'll take time. Like, just don't give up on what you got going on. And I feel like for those women who are going through postpartum depression after having their kids, I will say get you a journal, you know, write, walk, meditate, buy you some sage, write things down. I've got my little Being Mary Jane thing going on right now where I write down everything I'm going through on sticky notes. Like, I wrote on my wall, never give up, anxiety, my triggers, work on being happy, it's okay to cry, be consistent, be open. You love YouTube, just do it. You hate your job, what's your next move? Like, everything that I basically went through, I wrote in a sticky note and plastered on my wall by my vanity mirror, so I can look back at the things that I like and that I don't like and that I want to work on and stuff like that. Like, do that. You get what I'm saying? Because I feel like we don't really be having an outlet to talk about the things that we go through. So if you need to journal, walk, yell, scream, in the shower, whatever you got to do that, because it's always best to get that out. Next thing I want to talk about is therapy. Okay, now, us as young African Americans, we don't believe in talking to other people about our problems. But what I don't understand is us as African Americans are the first people to break down other people, and we also are very, 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 very opinionated on other people's stuff, like other people's situations, other people's problems, stuff like that. I'm not saying me, but I'm saying, like, from the things that I watch and the things that I see, like, it's okay to talk about other people, but other than deal with your own problems. That's beyond me. And I feel like therapy is not a thing that you'll be looked at, okay, well, I don't gotta talk to nobody. I'm black. I ain't gotta talk to nobody. I deal with my problems my own way and stuff like that. No, that's not a thing. You get what I'm saying? It's okay to talk to somebody. It's okay to ask for help. Because there's a lot of people out here that don't have that help and that don't take consideration of how they feel and what they're feeling at that very moment. And the next thing you know, they're no longer on earth. You get what I'm saying? So I said to say this, like, if you're a person who's suffering from depression or mental anxiety, postpartum, anything, talk about it. Talk about it. Go see somebody about it. And it's okay to have a therapist. You're not going to be judged for having a therapist. Okay? It's okay to talk about stuff. Another thing I wanted to talk about is being careful. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going around a lot. You know, these people are being taken and human trafficking and all of that stuff. I feel like make sure, like, you're taking proper steps. Like, I know, like, my family does. We all have each other's location. Me, my sister, my cousin, or if I'm going out, I take pictures of license plates and all types of stuff. Make sure you're keeping communication with those that you love, for them to know who you are at all times. Make sure you're very aware of your surroundings, because most times not everybody aware of their surroundings, and a lot of stuff can go wrong in a blink of a moment. Another thing I want to talk about is awareness. Be very, very aware of your surroundings. Be very, very cautious of who you're with. Be very, 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 very careful out here. It's getting real dangerous out here, so you really need to be safe. What else did I want to say something about? Oh, also I want to talk about standing in your truth. Standing in your truth. Make sure you stand in your absolute truth. Be your authentic self. Be your genuine self. Stand on everything that you say. Stand on everything that you feel. And don't let nobody encourage you to shift your truth and your thoughts and your outlook on your life or whatever stepped into your life. Like, don't ever let nobody navigate and steer your boat. Okay? Be who you want to be. Be yourself. Stand on your truth. Walk in your truth. Can't nobody tell you how to be, who to be, and can't nobody walk a mile in your shoes. You get what I'm saying? Stand in your truth. But yeah, this was just a talk time with me, you guys. You know, it's late, and I just felt like I need to put another video out, you know, for content, because, like, it be a lot of stuff running through my head, but I know lately, like, I be having so many things on my mind at one time, and there be so many things that I be seeing that just be crazy to me on social media, and it be like, okay, this stuff be dragging, like, a lot of stuff be dragging. But as I stated, it's your girl, officially KTV, giving you the hottest receipts and tea on me. Make sure you comment, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you can be updated on when I drop a video, a back-to-back video. So make sure you are at attention for that, okay? Love you, my keeks, and I am out, okay?